Happy New Year. I'm uncorking a delicious Diet Dr. Pepper. How are you? Hi, Daryl Deemer, Lumpy Dog, first in. Um, it's I'm going early today, and I'll tell you why I went this early. Is that I want to get out and maybe see a movie or something like that. I've got to do stuff around. Bolo, the Fishroom companion's in my lap. He's sleeping. But I want to talk a little bit about, I think this is something that all of us have. Yeah, Happy New Year. Absolutely. Happy New Year to all. It's great. 2020 is going to be an amazing year. It is going to be the best year ever. And I have wishes for the fish room. And here are my wishes. Hey, Turbofish, Tampa Tom. All right, party's going on. 7 here already, 3 likes. Appreciate it. Cichlid King Aquatics, Happy New Year. Ooh. Yeah, maybe I have to go to Home Depot today. Here's what I have on my list to do. I need to go to. I want to see. I have to go see Star Wars. So I'm going to do that today. I really should hit the gym. Probably not going to do that today. I'll do that tomorrow. It's because today and tomorrow's when the good news is I work real early, so I get there like mid afternoon. And you hit the gym at mid afternoon, nobody's really there. Today there will be. That place could be a zoo. But if you go at night, it's nuts. And I'm a member of Planet Fitness. And the reason why I'm a member of Planet Fitness is that, excuse me. Let me hold on. Let me mute this. I have no idea why I was coughing, but I was. Zen Ginger, welcome to the fish room. Happy New Year. So, so I'm getting back into the gym thing. I was really doing great up to my surgery. And then I just started working back in the last couple of weeks. Mr. Bees and Fish and Things, welcome to the live stream. So I'm gonna get back to the gym. I'm gonna get back to eating the way I'm supposed to eat. I may do a cheat meal today, but essentially I'm back to where I need to be. But I'll tell you what is that it was like about 6 months there where I really, actually about 5 months where I didn't go to the gym on a regular basis. And man, have I fallen out of shape. Holy capoli. Hey, Carrie Nature, welcome to the live stream. Good morning. Thanks for the thumbs up. But let's talk about why we're really here, the fish. And the fish room, my goal in 2020 is to get to 40 aquariums. I have 20 now. I need to double what I'm doing. And I may go to 50 aquariums this year. I don't know, but here's, I'm getting ready. I went out to look at homes this week. I'll look for homes next week, and then the goal is to close 1st of April. My lease is up April 30th, so I can move all the fish over. Hey, Big City Bettas, Happy New Year. Yeah, so that's sort of my goal. My other goal this year, is to go and really try to. I want to work on the crosses, and what I really want to do is I really want an all red swordtail. So I'm not quite at the point yet, but I'm getting there where I'm going to start the process. And I'm going to do it a couple of different ways. Number one, I'm going to put a male sword in with a couple of female Roebuck Reds. And then I'm going to put a Roebuck Red male in with a couple of sword females. And go from there. So your Tampa Tom, your goal is to go down to 3 tanks: fry tank, shrimp tank, and big display tank. Yeah, that's my goal, is an all red swordtail. And I've always been sort of an amateur geneticist. Um, and so my goal is that I'll do these crosses, get what I get. I'll inbreed them for a generation or two, cross over, and then hopefully get at a point where I'm on my way. But sometimes you do these crosses, you don't know exactly where you're going to get. The good news is I know the background of my lines, so that's one of the things that the Roebuck Reds have been a consistent fish in the hobby. Doug Gray has been a guy who sort of kept up Luke Roebuck's line. Luke died, I'm guessing, 5, 6 years ago, maybe. And so it's really go. Uh, you were talking, it turns out I can't really sit still for more than an hour without something to occupy my time. There you go. Lumpy dog, yeah. No, the swordtail guppy, that's what I'm after, all red. So that's my goal. So, and the good news is, um, one of the problems that people seem to have from Asia when they order some of these exotic colors from Asia is that you never know how they're built. You also don't know if this is a true breeding line. They may say it's a true breeding, but you really never know. And because of the cost going into it, there's a strain, a guppy strain from Asia that I am in love with. But I don't have the tanks for it right now, so I'm not going to do it. But you have to order. They want you to buy a pair. It's usually, 50, $60. I have no idea what the shipping is. They go from Asia, they go to a transshipper, they get shipped to you. So they pry in that stupid bag for a week. Um, and and so a lot of people get these fish in, and all of a sudden they lose both males or they lose one of the females or what have you. So you need to get two, at least two pair, and build from there. And then you have to set it up as like two different breeding groups. So you have, quote unquote, genetic variation. And so if you go through, one of the things I've learned from one of the things I have learned from International Fancy Guppy Association is that I got a text. Let's see what this is. Hold on. Hold on. Nope, not a text. I'm cool. Okay, good. Just my phone went off. Um, so the idea here is that you want to set up. If you look at IFGA, they have a sort of a suggested breeding thing if you're breeding for show guppies. And essentially is set up two different populations of the same strain. And when you get to about 4 or 5 generations in, uh, cross, cross over into the new. So when you set up your new breeders, take a male from one strain, breed to the females of the other, and take that male of the other strain, and just cross over. Every 4 or 5 generations, because it creates at least some idea of an outcross, even though they are related. And whatever genetic variation is, it helps keep the line hardy. It helps going through there. So if you're going to order fish from Asia, you have to order at least 2 pair. And it probably wouldn't hurt to get 3 pair if you could afford it. But I wouldn't order fish from there unless you got 2 pair. I was at my fish club meeting for the Northwest Arkansas Aquarium Society, and here was the deal. Oh, Diva, Madfish Diva in the house. You hit 1,000. Fantastic. Welcome to live stream. Happy New Year to everybody. So the idea here is that one of the guys at I'm a member of a few fish clubs. None in my town. I have to drive an hour to each one. But one of the guys at the fish club was explaining he bought uh, a trio of albino reds from Asia. I think he got it from ATFG, and or he bought a pair. And he got in, and all of a sudden the female croaked and had not dropped fry. And so he also had another strain of of albino red delta tail guppies. So essentially, he took that male and bred it into the other line. It ended up working well because it actually put more vigor in the line, and the fish got bigger. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily happen. One of the reasons why you want to do the outcrosses within the line is obviously you want to keep the same color. And so if you do the outcrosses in the line, is that you have gone and you have created enough genetic diversity for the to keep it going, and also to make improvements. So if you want a little more of a deeper red, if you're dealing a red guppy, or if you want a longer fins, or whatever you're trying to do, or a bigger fish, you're able to breed for that, and it creates that unique opportunity. So it's I'm an early bird. I get up early for work. Today, though, I slept in longer than well, Bolo the Wonder Dog woke me up at well, actually, I woke up with a headache at like 2:30 in the morning, and so I went and took Tylenol. Couldn't get quite back to bed. Turned on the Science Channel, and I can go to sleep to that. It's better than falling asleep to like infomercials or something. So it's or a movie where you wake up into another movie. Don't need that. So I promptly, yeah, Mr. B, I had a headache. And I had not. I had last night. I had for my celebratory alcohol consumption is I had a shot of bourbon at 7 p.m. That's it. So I had a brain aneurysm going on 12 years ago. It'll be in September. It'll be 12 years, and I live with headaches. And it's something that will never go away. So it's much better than they were, but I always have a headache. And I have to watch, my blood pressure is really good, but I have to watch it like a hawk because an aneurysm, it's not like you take it out of your brain. They Joe Biden is someone who had a brain aneurysm. He had it before the type of treatment I had. And what they did for Biden is that they uncapped him, pulled off a piece of skull, like, took a saw to it, and then they put a clip over the aneurysm. And so by the time I had it 12 years ago, they did endoscopy like they would do for a heart procedure. They go through your heart, they go up to the brain, and they put in platinum coils. They put 6 platinum coils in a platinum stent, and robotics. And since the surgery, I have a steadiness in my hand issue. Let's see if you can see it right now. It's pretty steady, but it is shaking a little bit. I sometimes have a balance issue. So because of that, I have had to go and, I was on painkillers for years, and I just quit them mainly because I was sick of being in a fog. So I did it. Precious Metal Peter, new nickname. Absolutely. Hey, it's It's a great opening line with the ladies. Hi, I'm Peter. I have metal in my head. It works. I'll just tell you, it's magic. So so the idea here is that I always have a headache. So it's I take Tylenol. If I go 12 hours without taking a Tylenol, it's like one of the great wonders of the world. So I woke up and I set up on my phone, by the way, a timer to make sure sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night, you have no idea. So I'll tell you how long it's been. It's been 6 hours and 47 minutes since I had Tylenol. So after the live stream, I'll take some. I'll walk Bolo. I'm going to go see Star Wars. I've already fed the fish. I fed the fish frozen Daphnia for breakfast. Frozen Daphnia, and so that was cool. They'll get the live baby brine shrimp later on. Um, it's I put the Daphnia cubes in a specimen container. I put a little bit of aquarium water, some of the water I've treated in there, allow it to melt out, and then I pour it into each tank, and they eat like little piggies, as they should. And so this afternoon I'll hit them up with. I hope everyone. It looks good on my end. So yeah, so Carrie, maybe your Wi-Fi or your cell phone or wherever you're getting the stream isn't doing great today for whatever reason. And okay, good. So, and really, do we need the picture all that good? Okay, so as I go through and so for the fish room, I now have two male plecos who look like they're sitting on eggs. I gotta I've used my cell phone to try to look in to see if there's anything in there. I'm not going to hatch them separately. It's just I'm going to let nature take its course here. Um, and so hopefully I have a bunch of super red pleco babies. I would love that. So that's one of the things I'm hoping to have in 2020. One of my goals for 2020 is to begin shipping fish. And so that's good. Yeah, tanks and also the furnace is running right now. Yeah, I woke up this morning, it was like 36 degrees, so the furnace is on. Did the sound just go down? Is it just cleaned up a little bit? Yeah, I'm surrounded by aquariums. I have an aquarium to the left of me. I have 4 aquariums. To the right of me, I have 9. And behind me, behind the computer right there, I have 1. The 55 makes almost no noise because it has a canister filter. So, and again, I'm in the fish room. It better sound like fish. So when I get into the house, furnace, okay, yeah, it makes a lot of noise, and it's right here in the living room. It's in my fish room, I should say, which is my living room, and yeah, I'll tell you what, it's my ex-wife didn't like it, and I haven't set it up here. But when I get into the house, I'm going to set up a fish aquarium in the bedroom because that nice white noise is really, really good. Okay, just water noise. Okay, well, we can deal with that. And it's going to get worse because I have more aquariums going up all the time. It's crazy. I have 4 more to get up. And I've had these 10-gallon cycling for the last about 5-6 days. I haven't put the heaters in. I got to get that done today. I've got to deal with this 30-gallon tank. So I've got chores to do in the fish room, which I think we all do. So I'm going to go see the Star Wars movie. What I keep hearing about the Star Wars movie is this. From people who are really into Star Wars, they're they're not if you're somebody who's read like the fan fiction and all that sort of stuff, you're not really into this that all that much. If you're like me and you have watched you like Star Wars, but you're quote unquote not a super fan, you've seen all the movies several times, you're gonna like it. That's what I keep hearing. And I keep hearing if you really love The Last Jedi, you're really not gonna like this. And The Last Jedi was to me, so I think I'm in good shape. And yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere as well. It's I'm an hour away from civilization in two directions. If I really want to get to the big city, about 3 hours away. So I can get to Kansas City in about 3 hours. Uh, it's I like Dallas, but that's about 6 hours. Oklahoma City is actually not that far away, and that isn't a bad place either. So it's about 4 hours away. And well, you see Big City Bettas? I haven't even seen that one, so there you go. It's apparently George Lucas is upset with what's happened with Star Wars, but the deal is with George Lucas is that he sold it for $7 billion. Okay, I wouldn't be upset. It it's I my last job I built a brand and got the brand very successful. And the company did a bunch of cutbacks, and I was one of the victims. Well, the brand is crashing. And do I feel bad about it? Yes, because I really worked at making it good. But you know what? Not my job anymore. You sell something, especially if you work in creativity and creative stuff. And yeah, George Lucas wrote the original story. He directed the first Star Wars movie. He, it was his creation, and he got $7 billion from Disney. So I just don't have, once you sell something, it's my parents owned a home that I grew up in, suburban Minneapolis, Cape Cod. It needed a lot of updates. It didn't have central air. But it was really a nice looking house. Looked great on top of a hill. Really nice looking. Well, I last time I was in my hometown, which was going on 16 years ago. These people had done a couple of additions to it and really made the house look like hell. Made it look awful. So one of my cousins drove up the driveway, and this is not an easy house to see from the street. It it wasn't that fancy of a house. It was just not that expensive of a house. It was just a nice looking house. These people have done so many additions, and it's the same people. The same people have owned that house since my parents sold it, 30 years ago. And the house is unrecognizable. All the charm is gone. They painted it like some weird funky color. But guess what? It's their house. They can do whatever it wants. I can sit there and think about the memories the good memories as a kid, bad memories as a kid. Um, and spending time at that house in that neighborhood. They own the house, they can do whatever it is. So it's like when you sell fish. I'm going to sell, at some point, roebuck reds, swordtails, shrimp, and whoever buys it, all of a sudden they throw the roebuck reds in with a bunch of mutt guppies. It's their choice, absolutely choice. Carrie, I happen to like Star Trek a little bit better as well. I actually have read some of the fan fiction. Some of it's been pretty good. It's been a while since I've read one of those books. Um, I prefer to call myself a Trekker, and 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 the reason I'm a Trekker over a Trekkie is that I would go to a Star Wars convention or a Star Trek convention. I've never done it, but I wouldn't dress up. I wouldn't be dressing up like a Klingon or Captain Kirk. Sort of like the portly middle-aged Kirk. Uh, no, I won't dress up like that. I have to get a big toupee, big hair hat. So so it's going through there. So yeah. You know what is Mr. B? You're right. You can say you don't like it, what they did with it, but it's best to move on. You spend too much time hurt in a negative place if you don't. Yeah, and there's way too short of time to be negative. It's I I've been trying to get negative things out of my life over the last few years, and it has worked for the most part. I'm in a new town. Really couldn't get away for Christmas, so I spent Christmas here alone. Went to Waffle House on Christmas. Um, I was fine. I was spending time with the fish. I was doing stuff around the house. It was fine. I cooked a nice dinner. Fine. It so it's just you have to make every day positive. Life is too short. To be caught up in negative things. I know people, and you guys probably do as well, who are like these folks that are completely they're very intense people. And I have a buddy of mine. This buddy of mine is the most easygoing guy in the world. His brother is so intense. The brother starts yelling over stuff. I mean, and the brother's a good guy, by the way. Really nice guy. Nice family man. But he's way too freaking intense. Let it go, everybody. Let it go. Okay. By the way, 10 here, 7 likes. Thank you guys very much for the thumbs up. Thanks for being here for this early live stream. So yeah, so today it's noon is when the showing is going. So after today's live stream, I'm gonna go walk the dog. I'll go get something to eat. I'll drop by the movie theater. I'll cheat. I'll get a cheat meal. Yeah, and Mr. B, here's the deal: is that we all work in situations. I've had coworkers I can't stand. I think we all have, and I've just learned to sort of let it. If they bother me, it's me. It's not them. It. I'm not an office politics player. I don't play office politics unless I have to. And I worked in one place for a long time, and I didn't play the game, but I worked really closely with the guy, my buddy Fred. And someone started playing an office politics game with the boss with me. And it was dirty pool. It was not right. It was not true. And you don't want to play office politics with me. It's I don't do it. I don't go, but if I have to retaliate, I'll retaliate. And I don't do anything cheap shots. I'll play office politics. I hate doing it. I'm never the initiator ever. But somebody starts something, I'll finish the job. And we've all been in those situations, at work, where all of a sudden office politics are being played. And it's crazy. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't go out and play office politics. And there's a lot of people who start doing that from moment one. And I've just learned that you ignore them, you do your job, but if you're cornered, and you have to respond. And you better be smart. You better be really smart. Because office politics, if you don't play it smart, if you don't know the complete landscape, can bite you in the butt. And I've seen that. I've seen people bitten in the butt by it. So, yeah, so the fish room, plecos. I would like to breed Corridoras once I get into the new house. Oh, office politics and a family business? Yeah, no, that's nuts. And I've seen that. One of the things I work in marketing, and I work with businesses coming up with messaging and focus. And your boss is a jerk, Mr. B, and it's you. Yeah, I do enough freelance stuff, but I don't do a ton of freelance stuff. And I probably should, now that my hours have changed. When my hours were 9 to 5, it's tough to do a lot of freelance. Now that my hours are 5 a.m. to 1 p.m., I can do more. I've been on my new schedule now for a month. So I'll get more into it. The deal is, my little buddy Bolo, God, is he spoiled. It, I get home, he wants pure attention. So he has to be in my lap. He has to, it's just, he's old, he's cranky, he's spoiled. When he was a puppy, he would go and lay down and, he would just look at you as he did stuff. Now, not so much. He wants to be petted, which is fun. So, when I'm doing like fish tanks, changing water, stuff like that, he'll go and hide away. He'll go, and as soon as I sit down, even for a second, he's back in my lap. Yeah, cranky and spoiled, Big City Bettis. Cranky and spoiled, yeah. And the deal is that, Bolo's in my lap now. He's already been out twice today. He's already pooped twice, and I'll take him out right before I disappear to go see the movie. And, again, it's just, yeah, he's spoiled. He's spoiled, and quite frankly, I would have it no other way. I love the guy. I'm very happy to have the little critter. Yeah, well, it's like yeah, politics in the office. Yeah, yeah. JAWB's aquarium tanks. Hey, welcome. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. 11 here, 9 thumbs up. I really appreciate it, gang. So so the fish room, getting back to that, is getting more tanks up. When they get the dollar sale, I have to drive to Springfield or to Fayetteville. And thank you very much for loving old Bolo. He's a good guy. He loves cats. And I've never, I've had cats in my life, but he has never had a cat hanging out in the house with him. And you know, it's with especially small dogs, with all dogs, it's all about early socialization. And with him, when he was a puppy, I would just hand him to people. He got held by people who didn't even want to touch him. But the deal is that it created a thing. And and Yeah, Bolo likes everybody. He prefers big dogs over small dogs. Don't ask me why. He just always has. At my last building, hey, Don Gallagher, you're just waking up. No, I get it. It's I did this early. Um, yeah, so Bolo prefers large dogs. He gets along with small dogs, uh, but he's sort of like he loves everything and everybody. If a dog makes the mistake, a big dog makes the mistake of batting him like a toy, you can see a little other side about Bolo. He takes care of business. Yeah, I had a couple of cups of coffee and I'm enjoying a delicious Diet Dr. Pepper right now. Yep, good times. Oh, you got a puppy right now, Brandon? Yeah, it's I'm getting a puppy next year, and here's the deal: I'm on a waiting list for a female Pomeranian for him, and it hasn't. I was supposed to get it right around now, but the breeder only had one of three litters arrive, so I'm on the waiting list for spring. Um, you know, maybe it's better timing to be in my house at that and all that sort of stuff, but Bolo by nature, he loves playing with he loves playing with puppies. So it's yeah, I know it's a full time job, but the deal is that if you go through and you do the right training early on, here's gonna be the only kink is that I'll be taking the puppy to puppy kindergarten. By the way, if you haven't done puppy kindergarten for your puppies, have to do it. I have an old boss of mine who raises Bernese Mountain Dogs. He shows them pretty serious. He has usually from 3 to 6 in his house, and he takes every one of them to puppy kindergarten, and it's pure for the socialization, and also sort of gives you a plan to go through. I did that with Bolo. It was the best thing I ever did. Yeah, well, a Great Dane is a big animal. Yep, that's a big, big dog. And they shed a lot. It's funny is that Bolo, he drops hair, but it's like in clumps a couple of times a year. It's really not that terrible. I was at, speaking of Great Danes, I was at the bank on Halloween and they were doing like a doggy dress up contest. I just walked in on it. And there was, a Great Dane that had to have weighed. The lady said that he weighed 130, but he was now 10 months old, and she had had him weighed a couple of months earlier. Big boy. And so I'm petting this thing. I'm filled with hair, so it's just going from there. Yeah, no, yeah, that's right, Brad. You spend the first year or two training for the dog you want for the next 10. Exactly correct. So here's the deal. We had growing up, we had show dogs and Brittany's. My dad loved hunting. I like hunting too. I just haven't done it for a long time. My dad liked hunting, walking through the woods, hunting pheasant, hunting grouse, hunting quail. Where you're out exercising, you're feeling the air, you're feeling the thing. He'd rather not sit in a duck stand or stick in a deer stand, duck blind or a deer stand. He just preferred doing that. So, um, Bolo, so if all of a sudden I'm not getting that female towards the spring, I think I'm going to end up getting a female Brittany. They're great dogs, easy to train. So there you go. In the woods or on the water, you know where to find me. There you go, hunting and fishing. There you go, Tampa Tom. And now meme is Carrie. If you want to know how to spell it, it's Meme. Meme is meme. So there you go. Don't worry about it. We're not in the spelling business here. And by the way, I'll tell you what, I don't know about you. I come from a generation before computers really became popular, and I took computer classes in high school, that type of thing, but they were not in every home. And my spelling was pretty good. And you type on a Word document, you type stuff up, well, all of a sudden you're getting the thing. All of a sudden, I'm writing something on a live stream or on Facebook or on Twitter. Good luck with that. A lot of times, my spelling just goes right out the window. It has become horrific. Sometimes I sit there and they go, well, it says it's misspelled. What do I do? So, you use Grammarly? Yeah, I've seen that. I probably should look into getting that. Deal is that at the office, I have to figure out if it's easy to transfer over to the office because because I do a lot of writing for work, and I do a lot of writing. It's like and because I do creative type of writing for work, for me, I'm very streaky. I can write a whole bunch of stuff that's pretty creative and pretty good. Sometimes, depending. Uh, and I can punch out a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. And then, if I have a deadline, it's like huge. The deal is that a lot of the deadlines are set by me as stuff that I always have to do some writing. So, and oh, very cool, Carrie. Um, and the deal is that for me, it's all about, all of a sudden I'm hit by a creative bug, and I can sit down and write a bunch of stuff very quickly. And I like to go back and look at because I write ads and I write stuff for TV and for radio and for the web. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll think, man, that was really good. And I'll listen to it like 2 years later, or I'll look at the video 2 years later. And I'm going, oh, that sucked. Boy, what a bad job. And then I'll look at something I didn't think was necessarily all that great, and it is. I look at it a couple years later, going, "Why did I think that stunk? That was actually really, really good." And a lot of times, what happens is that there's that line of being creative. You can be too far fetched, and if it becomes too far fetched, it may make you think that you're absolutely great. I used to work with a woman, and I had to like rewrite everything she did because and she was really she did what she did for the office. She did really good. She did event type stuff. Did a really good job with it. But she would write like the ads for it and all that sort of stuff. And this poor woman would throw in like a bunch of puns. And my deal is with puns is that they should be used very rarely, and they're used way too much. And if puns were truly funny, where is the pun comic? There isn't one. So the idea about puns, and by the way, puns are funny, but they can be overplayed, really overplayed. I swear to you, on ESPN, nearly everything is a stupid pun these days. Drives me nuts. It's just too much. Again, an occasional pun, fine. Raise a roof, occasional pun, that's funny. But when somebody's coming up with pun, 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 no, you're totally right, Brandon. Worst dad jokes going, just nuts. Pun, pun is great. Oh, Zen Ginger. Oh my God, that's awful. Absolutely awful. So that's sort of the deal. Yeah, so today, I hope you guys have a great new year. I'm going to cut out of here early. I didn't say how long I go. Normally I go an hour, but I've got to go. Number one, I'm having allergies. I need to blow my nose. Number two is I've got to get ready to go out and try to see a movie. So you guys have a great New Year's Day. Enjoy football, enjoy family, enjoy friends, enjoy a movie, enjoy time in the fish room. Happy New Year. May 2020 be the greatest year of your life. And I believe it can be, and it will be. It's going to be the greatest year in all of our lives. Enjoy your fish, enjoy your year. We'll see you Saturday for the live stream, 12 Central, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. And you guys have a great, great day.